You knew this was coming. You knew this was going to happen. According to USA Today, two sources close to USA Basketball claimed that one of the reasons that Caitlin Clark was excluded from the Olympics was due to an overwhelming fear of backlash. They were worried. They were concerned. They were afraid of the potential backlash of Team USA coach Sherry Reeve or Cheryl Reevey. Who cares? I mean, the coach is just as anonymous as the players on this roster. They were worried about the potential backlash if Caitlin Clark was given limited minutes. Well, I guess they were brilliant in their methods to alleviate those concerns. I can guarantee you there is not going to be any backlash regarding playing time for Team USA because no one is going to be watching. Thanks to their brilliant decision, the backlash, it has turned into a potential outright boycott. Throughout the day yesterday, thousands of people on social media, they were expressing their outrage, claiming that they were going to boycott women's basketball at the Olympics. Some were even claiming that they were going to be pulling against Team USA, pulling for Team USA to lose. I don't know if I would take it that far. A few years ago, when they were kneeling for the national anthem and flaunting their rainbow pride, I understood the hope that Team USA would lose at the Olympics, but rooting against your own country because the only star in women's basketball was excluded from the team? I don't know about that, but if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Hopefully there's not too much background noise in this video. My neighbors, they're having some trees cut down over there, but hopefully you guys can't hear the noise. It is abundantly clear at this point that the WNBA is not ready for the spotlight. This league is completely unprepared for the amount of attention that they are currently receiving. The players aren't prepared. The coaches aren't prepared. Leadership, or in this case, the complete lack of leadership, they have no idea what the hell they're doing. This should be so simple. When Vince McMahon stumbled upon Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the late 90s, you know what he did? Vince McMahon got the hell out of the way and he let the stars be the stars. He didn't stifle them creatively. Every year at WrestleMania, he didn't have Austin Rock in the opening match, or even worse, off the card altogether. Hey, pal, I know you're the biggest star in the company, but we're going in a different direction. Instead of you and Rock in the main event at WrestleMania, we are going with Mr. Ass versus Paul Plunger. That is sure to put butts in the toilet seats. When you have talent that is capable of generating money, you allow them to generate money. Vince McMahon, he promoted Austin and Rock relentlessly. He allowed them to carry the company while he became a billionaire in the process. I know he was a perverted doofus in his personal life, but one thing you can't take away from Vince McMahon, he knew how to make money. He knew how to generate profit. Profit, something the WNBA has been allergic to in the last 30 years. Let me ask you something. What is the point of the Olympics? From the networks that broadcast the Olympics to the Olympics themselves, what is the purpose of their existence? Well, KC, they exist to give amateur athletes the opportunity to win a gold medal. No. I know the women from the WNBA dump, they were selected for Team USA. I know they are considered amateur basketball players, but the Olympics, they don't exist to give them the opportunity to see real gold and touch it for the first time. The Olympics exist for one reason and one reason only: to make money. Their goal is to attract the largest audience possible for NBC. Otherwise, NBC doesn't see a return on their billion-dollar investment and they will quit broadcasting the Olympics. How are you going to draw an audience for women's basketball when the only draw in the history of the sport is going to be at home in Iowa milking the cows? NBC, they could show footage of Caitlin Clark working the farm and she would attract a larger audience than women's basketball at the Olympics. I mean, seriously. What would you rather watch? An interesting young woman from middle America making the cow moo as she fills the milk carton, or a group of unknown pretend basketball players shooting air balls? The excuses that we have seen the last 2 days as to why Caitlin Clark was excluded from Team USA, these excuses, they further prove why the WNBA is not ready for the spotlight. According to The Athletic, Caitlin Clark was excluded because rookies just don't make the Olympic team. Last night, I had a viewer named Sue reach out to me by email. She quickly disproved this bullshit notion that rookie dump divers don't qualify for the Olympic team. Back in 2004, Donna Taurasi, she was a rookie dump diver right in the back of the garbage truck in the WNBA dump. She was so efficient, she was so good at making sure scraps didn't fall on the ground as the garbage cans were emptied into the back of the truck. Donna was so good, she was allowed to compete at the Olympics as a rookie. Well, KC, there's always exceptions. Donna Taurasi is elite. She's a huge star. Yeah, Donna Taurasi being a huge star, that's up for debate. Actually, no, it's not. In order to be a huge star, you first have to be a star. Diana Taurasi has never been a star. But 4 years later, there was another rookie dump diver selected for the Olympics, Candace Parker. Miss Parker! Miss Parker! If you've ever seen the movie Friday, you'll understand that reference. But Miss Parker, she might have been a short-lived star in Friday, but she has never been a draw as a basketball player. Yet somehow, she still managed to qualify for the Olympics as a rookie. Over the past 48 hours, I have seen excuse after excuse after excuse as to why Caitlin Clark was excluded. And I believe all these excuses are distractions for the real reason that Caitlin Clark wasn't selected. Head coach of Team USA, Sherry Reavie, or whatever the hell her name is, I don't think she wanted Katie Root on the team. That's not my opinion, it's a fact. Sherry recently told the media, Caitlin hasn't practiced with us. How am I supposed to integrate a player who hasn't been practicing with the team? When you only have one draw in your league, you figure out a way to integrate her. We're not talking about anonymous Andrea who plays for the Phoenix Masculines. We are talking about the only player capable of drawing an audience. Does it really matter if Team USA wins their 8th consecutive gold medal if no one is watching? And speaking of the Phoenix Masculines, Bob Griner, she was selected for the Olympics, and Bobby G, she's only played one game all season. I don't know if that's due to injury or exhaustion. I didn't bother to look up the reason because I couldn't care less. For all I know, Bob is getting reacquainted with the ganja and she has been dealing with a 4-week hangover. Most people are outraged though because Team USA selected Brittany Griner, the same Brittany Griner who kneeled for the national anthem, the same Brittany Griner who demanded that the national anthem not be played in the WNBA dump. Team USA selected Brittany Griner over Caitlin Clark. Now, in all fairness to Bob, she has acknowledged her mistakes from the past when it comes to kneeling for the national anthem. A 10-month vacation with Vlad Pooter tends to give you a new perspective and appreciation for America. But like I told you guys yesterday, I believe the real reason that Caitlin Clark was excluded is because the other players, they didn't want her on the team. The other players didn't want Caitlin Clark stealing their spotlight. Like I said, they won't have to worry about the spotlight because no one is going to be watching. Do I think people will boycott Team USA because Caitlin Clark was excluded? Absolutely. But I don't think it's going to be a real boycott. It won't be some organized demonstration for people to express their outrage. Now, the mainstream media, they will present it that way. I'm sure the media will claim, this is misogyny. They are refusing to support our women. You can call it a boycott, but the real reason Team USA won't be supported will be a complete lack of interest. Last night, there was a clip circulating on social media of a WNBA press conference. Initially, I thought this press conference was recent. I thought it was from this past weekend. But based on my own research, this press conference, I think it was from last season, which, by the way, this is another example of how anonymous 99.9% of WNBA players are to the general public. It took me 15-20 minutes to identify this dump diver. I read through hundreds of comments on Twitter. No one was naming her, and they weren't naming her because they didn't know who the hell she was. Vast majority of people on Twitter, they thought that this clip was recent. That is how little attention the WNBA receives outside of Caitlin Clark. But after 20 minutes of research, I was able to identify this young woman as Kayla Cooper, or maybe it's Kalia Copper. Who cares? It doesn't matter what her name is. Kayla, she is currently playing for the Phoenix Masculines, but last season, she was working the dump in Chicago as a member of the Bravado. After one of their games that obviously no one watched, Kayla was speaking to the media. Apparently, the Bravado bench underperformed in this particular game. Naturally, the only member of the media who wasted their time attending this press conference, they asked Kayla Cooper about the bench and their performance. Watch her response.
This looks like the bench production. You didn't get a lot of it in this game here. Talk about what they need to do going forward.
You said what?
The bench. Not score a lot in this game here, give you a lot of production. What do you have to do next in the next few games to help you guys most likely get to the next level?
What does the bench have to do?
Yes. I was saying that the bench didn't give a lot of production today in this game here. What do they got to do to help you all out as what they did in the previous game?
What they got to do? What they do last game? That's a real question? You for real? What the bench do the last game?
They actually played well. They played well.
So what they do this game?
Today they didn't do well this game.
Okay, so what they got to do? Score, right? Yep. All right, bet. That's it, right? Yep. That's the main question.
You know what I would have said if I were that reporter? Do you realize I am the only member of the media willing to cover this dump? Do you realize no one cares about your league? Then I would have dropped the mic, walked out, never to return. Even though this happened last year, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The WNBA isn't ready for the spotlight. Have you ever tried to read tweets from Angel Reese? In person, on camera, Angel Reese is articulate, but on social media, she texts like a teenager. I know it seems minor, but it matters. Behavior matters. Appearance matters. Looks matter. And I'm not talking about looks in the physical sense or appearance in the physical sense. I'm talking about appearance and looks and the way you present yourself publicly. I don't have a problem with players getting combative with the media, but how you present yourself when you're doing it, it matters. Allen Iverson, he gave a legendary rant to the media probably about 20 years ago about practice. Now, compare his press conference to what I just showed you. Notice the difference. You know why David Stern implemented a dress code in the NBA 20 or so years ago? David Stern knew appearance and presentation matters. WNBA is lucky that this happened last season when no one was paying attention to the dump, but it seems like every day we are given further proof that women's basketball and the WNBA, they are not ready for the spotlight. But give me your thoughts. People threaten to boycott Team USA in the Olympics because Caitlin Clark's not on the team. Do you think it'll be a boycott, or do you think it just will be a complete lack of interest? Also, give me your thoughts on Kalia Cooper. Give me your thoughts on her press conference. Is the WNBA unprepared for the mainstream attention they're currently receiving? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.